Because every time I see lightning, I think of the MEC of the Northwest, MEC of Safety and Security. True genius, true comedic genius. Like, we all have our mentors, and I look up to guys like him. No, because he came out after, what happened was, there was a funeral on the weekend, and what happened was there was a lightning storm, and lightning struck the people at the funeral, and 9 people were killed instantly. There's nothing funny about that. 9 people dead, gone. Nothing funny at all, although it must have been a bit weird, because you're there because someone has died, and then it's a bit awkward now. You don't know if you carry on here or do you... but it's a bit, you don't know. And then you're like, do you put them in? Because there's there's going to be one uncle who's like, no, there's space, put him. I must buy another box. It's just you know what I mean? And if you've got one of those possessive mothers, those mothers that love their kids, probably then she's crying and then everyone's like, and then they dead, and then they're like, oh, then she's like, don't you dare, don't you cry for them, you don't cry for them. You came here for this, you came here, you save your tears and you cry where hey, they freshly dead, you can cry for them next week, you bring those tears here. But there's nothing funny about it, and so what happened is on the Monday after the funeral, the MEC came out and he held a press conference. And he was there and the journalists had all gathered and it was very serious. And he came out there and the photographers and everyone was there and he said, we have had what have happened on that funeral. Let it be known that we will launch a probe and we will not rest until we know where does this lightning come from. Not rest. His assistant was probably like, up. He was like, we're up. We want to know, where does it come from? I didn't even make the joke. He just said this. I just repeated it to you. We've become a culture of distrusting angry people. That's who we are. Everyone's angry. Weird angriness as well, in places where it shouldn't be. I was in Checkers the other day. I'm just shopping. It's a normal experience, I get to the cashier and those people are so angry. I don't know what Checkers does to their employees, but they're clearly not enjoying it. Because I get to the till, she doesn't greet me, she doesn't even look at me. She just pushes a little conveyor belt thing, all my groceries pull up, she's then like, doot, 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 doot. They look at you like your dad invented the barcode. Doot. Doot, 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 doot. Then they look at you and ask you that question like you kill baby panda bears for a living. Plastic. No, bye. Thank you. No, I'll just, no, thank you. Yeah. They're so angry. And they look angry because they've drawn their eyebrows on. And that permanent scowl. I don't understand that trend in fashion, to be honest with you. Why would you shave your eyebrows off and then draw them back on where they were? It's weird. But look, I also commend it, that level of commitment has to be commended. Because I don't understand how anyone can commit to one expression for the entire day. How do you choose that expression? Do you just work on how you feel in the morning? Is that what you do? You just wake up, be like, I'm feeling angry. Yeah. What if something good happens? Something good. You can't even, you'd be like, yeah, Tembi, you won the lotto. Yeah. You don't look happy. I just can't show it. I'll draw it tomorrow. You guys love your sports out here. I've never seen more focus put on sports anywhere else in the world. Americans love their sports back to front. You analyze them, you worship them, you watch the game before the game, you watch the game after the game. You talk about what might happen in the game, you talk about what's happening in the game, and then you talk about what happened in the game and what could have and might have but didn't happen in the game. It's just the craziest thing I've seen in my life. It's all about statistics. Have you seen sports in America? Non-stop. Guys just come out there. There's no time for smiles or anything. Just come out. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. It's the 2012 Miami Heat up against the OKC. This is the greatest final we've been waiting for in the NBA Finals. LeBron James leading his team out here, averaging 30 points, double-double every single game, 10 points per game just in assists alone. This man is just something else. 90% from the free throw line. He's just gone in. He's statistically gotten better. His team coming in with more. Chris Bosh coming in with more assists, really doing well in the last game. Just like, wow. Numbers, stats. You guys know everything, every stat. Well, I mean, he's got 4 out of 5, and I mean, if you look at that statistic alone, it looks like he should be getting forward. He should be, and then it's just crazy. You know everything, and then you switch over to like your business channels and your economy, and you're like, what's happening in the economy this year, Bob? Well, nobody knows. I mean, nobody knows. Yeah. We thought the housing market was coming up, but it wasn't. But hey, I mean, that's the economy. You never know, right? You never know. What about stocks? Well, I guess stocks, they're up and down. I don't really know. They're up and down. They could go anywhere. It's those are stocks. We don't know. But the sports, you need to flip that around. You need to forget the statistics in the economy. Just relax in your sports. Have fun. That's the sports I watch, is relax, like soccer. I'm a huge fan of soccer, Yeah. Oh, there's some fans here. I love soccer. It's chilled. You hear it in the commentators when a game is being played. There's no statistics at all. Game starts off, the whistle blows, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this majestic match. It's Spain playing against Germany. Oh, and what a wonderful day it is. Look at the crowd, really excited. Oh, and the atmosphere is amazing. Wonderful weather. And the guys are just like, oh, yeah, John, you can feel it. The players look great. It's wonderful. What do you think is going to happen today, Martin? Oh, nobody knows. I can't even remember the last time I saw a game this good. Americans will remember. Americans will go back to the finest statistic. The last time a black man scored using his left hand, jumping over a mixed race, half Indian, was in 1967 when they're like, what? This is madness. I remember the worst encounter I had with the TSA was out in Burbank, California. Tiny little airport, and I was flying out and I was coming to New York, right? And so I'm in Burbank Airport and I go through security, and then for some reason I was beeping. I don't know why. I walk to the metal detector and I beep. Go out, beep. Go out, beep. Go out. And every time I have to take something off, I gotta beep. And the agent, he's just losing it. The whole time he's like, take that off, take it off. And I'm going like, beep, 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 beep. He's like, take that off, take it off. And I come back, he's like, take that off. He's getting more and more angry. I'm basically naked right now, and he's losing it. Like I felt like an underperforming stripper. It was horrible. He's just like, And finally he's like, you know what, just get out here. So I walk to the side, he's like, go ahead and put your hands up. I put my arms up, and he whipped out a little personal metal detector. Yeah, it looks like a midget sword, right? But they call it the wand. That's what they call it, the wand. And so he whips that out, yeah, because that $100,000 machine, that's play. Shit just got real. And so he looks at me and says, go ahead and stick your hands up, sir, and just keep them right there. So I put my arms up, and he scans me. He's like, You got any metal objects on you? I'm like, well, then what was that for? If you were gonna ask me anyway, then what was this? The foreplay to my honesty? What is this? Why? And then, as if he can't do this right, he calls for backup. He goes, I'm gonna need you, wait. Can we get Velasquez to gate 10, please, Velasquez to gate 10? And he calls for a man by the name Velasquez, who I'm assuming was the best wander that they had. Because he wasn't even on the floor. They called for him, and Velasquez emerged from the back offices of the TSA. And he walked out, and the energy changed. People bowed their heads as he walked past. Everyone gave him a little nod. You could see he was special, and he didn't look like it. He didn't look like much. You know, Velasquez was a little Mexican man, very long mustache, big chest, and he was very short, really, really short guy. But he didn't feel short. Like, he looked short, but he didn't feel short. Do you know what I mean? Like he had this thing. You know those short people that are so confident, it looks like they just chose to grow low. He had that energy. And so Velasquez walks down towards where I'm standing with my agent. My guy tries to apologize, says, I don't know what's going on. I silenced him with one move of his hand. He's like, no, I go. And he stepped up, he looked me in the eye, and he's like, sir, you got to stand for side and not give God for that, okay? Don't touch nothing on the movie, okay? None of that. And I didn't know what he was saying. But I knew what he meant. And so I stood there, I raised my arms, and as I did, he whipped out his wand. And he started using it all over me, and as soon as he did, I knew why he was who he was. It was the most magical thing I've ever come across in my life. The way he wielded that wand was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I felt like I was being blessed. I just stood there with my head down as he went all over me, just blessing me with his power. It was something special. It was like a force and energy. It's like on the outside, you still heard that beeping. It was like, ee, but in my head, I heard a lightsaber. That's what I heard. I heard like, it was like, because he was to me a little Mexican Jedi. In fact, that's exactly what he was. He was my Mexican Jedi. Which, by the way, I feel would be a welcome addition to the Star Wars franchise. No, I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. I was super excited when I found out they'd be making another one. I was losing my mind. I went back and watched all the movies, and I came to realize that there's no Mexican Jedis, not even one. There's no Mexican Jedis. Which is weird. Because when you look at it, technically speaking, Star Wars is a vision of America in a distant future. So, surely it would be safe to say, judging by the current trajectory of Mexican people in America, I'm sure it would be safe to say that by that time, in a galaxy far, far away, there would be at least one. Just one Mexican Jedi. It's not even like it would spoil the story. Who knows, it might open up a whole new avenue. Can you imagine how different that epic scene between Luke and Darth could have been? Them battling it out on the Death Star. The moment of realization. Luke. What do you want, you evil man? Luke. What do you want from me? No. Luke, man. Luke. It's your father, man. Because all over the world, they conform to a norm, and that is in airports, women make announcements. It's always a woman, always. And she's always calm, always monotone, always come over that system. She sits in a room quietly. They bring her the pages one by one. You can be in Heathrow, for instance. You'll hear that woman come on the system. Ding, ding. Attention all passengers. Please note this is an airport announcement. No passengers are permitted to leave any items unattended, as this may be seen as a security risk. Any unattended luggage will be removed by security and destroyed. Thank you. Dun, dun. Everywhere in the world. Even if you go to like non-English speaking countries, they still conform to that norm. You know, you go to places like China where you wouldn't expect it, you know? You think, I see some of you probably think they'll be like, no, don't even laugh, that's racist, don't even laugh. No, that's racist, you don't even laugh. But they're not. They calm. It's a woman, still the same. She's just another language. She'll come on the piano and be like, dum dum. 才个是东西，从早考起学的，跑过一学的，不得其实爱为他过一去，从早考的一次，谢谢你，dum dum. And you know they've conformed. And then you land in South Africa. And you know you've landed. You know that you're back home when you walk into the airport terminal building. You walk in, and I don't even know if they audition the people who do it. No. It's almost like whoever's closest to the mic gets to do it first, you know? It's the craziest thing. Luckily, 99% of the time it's a woman, but she'll come on. It's the craziest thing ever. As you walk in, she'll come and be like, dum dum. Attention all passengers. Attention all passengers. Hello, I'm talking to you. Hello. Yeah, all the people is flying Kula.com. The plane is delayed. The plane was going on 2, it's going on 3. Yeah, all the people must just take a ticket for that one. Going to have a problem, nah? Just take on that. If your ticket says 2, then it's going to be 3, nah? That mustn't complain when the plane is not there, because then I need to tell you now that you must just phone the people that are coming to pick you up. Must tell them, yo, I need my plane is changed. It's not. And then they start speaking to people in the background. They don't even turn off their mic. All they must just tell the people they are. But tell you things. I want to play. I need drink. I need jelly. I need drink. Yeah, I need some niggas. I need jelly. Yeah, it's chicken. Yeah, yeah. I'm for the drumstick. I'm for the breast. It's drumstick. Yeah. Yeah, I'm for the drumstick. Okay, yes, I get 7. Okay, all the people is like one time. The gate is changed. It's not D2, it's C15. It's not D2, it's C15. If you can go to D2, oh, you can find nothing. Okay, bye-bye. But I don't surf. I sit on the beach and I enjoy it from there. It looks beautiful. I enjoy it. And I'm sitting on the beach in Malibu. And it's during the week, so it's really empty. There's just one girl surfing out there, California babe. And she's rocking it, you know. And she's got long blonde hair and tan, looking very fake. And just like, you know, she's riding her board and doing her thing. And all those unnecessary surfing moves that people do, you know. Just stay here. There's no need for... And surely, sure enough, at the end of it, like she's doing those things and the wave comes like... And I was like, you're dead. But she wasn't. And she comes out of the water and she's having the time of her life. And she looks over at me and she's like, hey there. Are you like gonna come in? The water's like super amazing. I said, no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm just gonna sit here and watch you. You're very good. Keep it up. She's like, OMG. You talk funny. No, I don't talk funny. You talk funny. Where are you from? I'm from South Africa. She's like, oh, wow. Like Africa? How did you get here? What? I used my monkey grip under the plane. How did you get here? She doesn't even wait for my answer. She runs. She's in the water. She's doing her thing, surfing, having a good time, doing those things. She comes back out, and now all of a sudden we're best friends. She runs out onto the beach. She's like, hey, Africa. I'm like, hey, America. So like, you don't surf at all? I said, no, I don't. Where I'm from, we don't really surf. Johannesburg, there's no surfers out here, you know? She's like, oh, that's too bad. Like, do you guys have waves in Africa? Do we have waves? A grown human being asks me if we have waves on a continent. Like, no, we don't. Yeah, by the time the water gets to our side of the world, it's just so tired. It's just, you know, so worn out from all the traveling. It tries, but it's, Do we have waves? She's brilliant. She says this and she runs back into the water. And every time she goes out there, it's like she comes back more stupid. It's almost like she's fishing for stupidity out there. It's almost like there is a shark. She's like, yeah, ask him this now, ask him this, ask him this. Because she comes back, and I'll never forget this. Till the day I die, I will not forget this conversation. She comes back onto the beach, and she stands next to me, and she's taking off her wetsuit, and she goes, so, Africa, can I, ask you a question? So, yeah, go ahead. If you're, from Africa, have you, ever had AIDS? You know what's funny? Is I wasn't offended by the fact that she said AIDS. But I was offended by the fact that she said, ever had AIDS. AIDS is something you could had, like a passing flu, just, Hey, John, I didn't see you at work last week Thursday. Where were you? Yeah, I had a bit of AIDS there. I just hit me hard. Took some Corinza. Now I'm back, bro. Ever had. And I know as a child of a continent that's ravaged by this disease, it's my job, it's my duty to educate people when I meet them. It really is a part of who I am. But when you look at someone in their eyes and there's no hope. It's just that old SABC tone. It's like, doo. So it's only two of us and I'm bored. I figure, why not have some fun? So I look at her and I'm like, yes. Yes, America. I've had AIDS many, many times. She's like, oh, wow, really? Oh, my God. So aren't you going to be, super skinny and dead or something? I said, no, AIDS is not as bad as you think. It's just like chocolate, You just shouldn't have too much at one time. You're just like, AIDS. Oh, too much AIDS. Oh. And then you stop for a bit, and then after you're like, more AIDS. You just chill. She's like, wow, AIDS is like chocolate? I said, yeah, you should try it sometime. She's like, no, that's disgusting. So then if it's like chocolate, then it's gonna get all melty, and I'll be covered in AIDS chocolate, and I'll be all sticky, and I'll be all dirty. I was like, yeah, then you just take a shower for the... No, what are you... Oh, no, don't you laugh at my president. Damn you, people, damn you. I don't accept your laughter, damn you. Don't you laugh, this has nothing to do with that great man. Turning my jokes against me, no. I will not participate in this madness. How else do you get clean? Good evening. Or not. Sorry, I get nervous when I start a comedy set. I find comedies very similar to sex for me. Well, it's exactly like sex when you think about it. Just me, the comedian, playing the role of the man, and you, the audience, the role of the woman. Because it's my job to satisfy you, and you just have to sit there. And then, just like sex, my success or failure is somehow determined by how much noise you make during my performance. Oh, you're just faking it now. Thank you. It's a one-sided affair. So I hope you aren't the quiet types. No, you were great, really. Makes it worse when a guy laughs in the middle of it. It's not meant to be funny. This is my first time in Australia, and I must say I'm enjoying it. After 2 days of traveling to get here, I finally arrived, and it's quite a quaint place. It wasn't supposed to take me that long. We were delayed. First delay was I got to the airport in Johannesburg. I was on a Qantas flight, and they said, sorry, sir, there's a bit of a delay. I said, how long? They said, 24 hours. So that's not a delay, that's cancellation. So that's another day. So they said, come back tomorrow. I came back the next day, and then we tried it again, and this time we were on the plane, and then there was another delay of about 4 to 5 hours where we were stuck on the tarmac, and the plane couldn't take off because the airplane wasn't balanced. I've never heard of that in my life. That's what the pilot said, and like because he's a pilot, we believe him. He just said it, because the pilot sounds serious when they're saying it. He came on, he said, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a bit of a problem on the plane. Don't know what's going on. Seems like it's not balanced, but we'll have to check on what's going on, and we'll get back to you as soon as we know. And I won't lie. As soon as he said that, I looked at the fat people, but not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Just in an objective manner. Like, hey, you guys, you can't sit together. You need to sit one on. Yeah, the plane. Probably you. It's probably you. Speaking of fat people, is Biggest Loser the biggest show in Australia? That's all I see on TV, is just The Biggest Loser. I love that show. It's fantastic. It's always on TV. What a fantastic show. For those who don't know, The Biggest Loser is a show where they try and help fat people lose weight through torture, basically. Yes, both emotional and physical. Yeah. They do horrible things like leaving food in the house that they're living in, then ask them why they're eating it. Why did you eat the food, Kevin? Why did you eat the food? Because it was there and he's fat. That's what he does. That's like his specialty. You knew this before he came. Why are you now acting shocked? They should do a show about the people that make the show and call them the biggest assholes. That's what they should say. The show's not helping anybody. I love it. An amazing show. But yeah, so we were flying. So we flew. Flew from Johannesburg to Sydney. Sydney, you come in, and then you have to leave the airport and then go back into the airport to fly. You go through border control. Very friendly. I must say, Australia, I'm very impressed. Very friendly border control. You guys are very chilled out, very cool. Like visas, not really like needed. Sort of, it is, but not like the. Do you have your visa? No. Well, all right. Well, you know. I learned the secret to getting through from a few Chinese men that were ahead of me is that you just have to irritate the border police and then they just let you in. There's a guy ahead of me and the woman was asking him, excuse me, sir, where are you going to be staying in Australia? No, where are you staying? Like, kangaroo. No, sir, where are you staying? Kangaroo. No, sir, you can't. No, it's not like, where are you going to be staying? Kangaroo. All right, just go in. I just came in. And he was just like, it was fantastic. Yes. And he had this look when he got to the other side, like it works every time. Just, this knowing look about him. And so you come in, and it seems too easy because it is, because the border control is very chilled, but then you get like to the customs, which is the most hardcore place in the world. I don't know what the hell happened in Australia, but you guys need to chill out when it comes to fruit. People are standing there being strip shirts. Where did you get the apple? I don't care if you can't speak English. You're going to spend a week in quarantine, mate. Where did you get the apple? I don't care. Where's the apple from? You see people. There's a guy that was stopped for weed. Is that marijuana? Well, don't do it again. But you with the apple, back to where you came from. What did fruit do to your country? It's such a weird place getting used to Australia because you finally come in and then you can't understand anybody. You really, really can't because like you guys say you speak English, but it's not. It's like you try, but then I couldn't tell. Like sometimes it actually sounds like it's Chinese. I used to hear people making jokes about, oh, there's all these Chinese, but then when you come in, you don't know if the Australians are Chinese or not Chinese. Like, because it sounds the same to me, especially like a very deep Australian accent. Very like people say things, oh yeah, how you go, oh yeah, oh, ni hao, oh yeah, ni hao, oh yeah. Shishini, I don't know what's going on here, man. This is very. And then the phrases I do understand don't make sense, like positive phrases, like apparently she'll be right. I don't know who she is and how she applies to me, but this is very important to say in Australia. You also feel it's very important to tell everybody that you have no worries. Yeah, I didn't ask you about your life's philosophy. I just asked you how you were on the day, and you, oh, no worries. Really? Not even one worry? Really, Australia? Are things that good here? No, not even one. Not even prostate cancer. Not even one. Not even North Korea, because those guys are close. I'm just saying. Not even one worry. Yeah. And the strangest one, and this is something I've learned, which I wish you'd teach people before they come, is the correct answer to the phrase "How you going?" is not by aeroplane. I feel it's strange to ask people this when they're traveling. I was flying with Sydney, and then we were going to Melbourne, and I got to the counter, and I said to the woman, "Hi, I'm going to Melbourne, please." And she said, "Oh yeah? How you going?" I said, "By aeroplane." That is why I've chosen this building over here to be traveling in. And she said, no, I was greeting you. And I said, oh, no worries. You guys have been great. Thanks for having me. This is so amazing. So many of you here to see me. Huh? I feel like Meghan Markle. This is dope. That was like the most amazing experience. I didn't know that the royal wedding was going to be this weekend. I didn't know it was going to be today. I planned my show long before them. I knew that I loved you before he knew. That's what I'm saying. I planned our big day long before they planned theirs. And then now everyone was like, oh, you're going to London? Are you going for the royal wedding? Are you here for the royal wedding? Are you here for the royal wedding? It's quite an event, I have to say. Like everyone is watching everything about you. All the stories people would talk about, because you're watching it all over the world. They're like, yes, Meghan Markle. Yes, she isn't the typical royal. Yes, she isn't the typical royal. What we mean is, yes, typical royal. She comes from an unconventional family. Yes, very different family. And I was like, yeah, man, she does. She comes from an unconventional family. Just like Harry, same thing. Come on. It's true, same thing. And they look good together. It was beautiful. Everyone was stressed out about it. Meghan Markle's family was in the tabloids, the Daily Mail, trying to destroy their lives. Man, when the Daily Mail comes after you, they do not mess around. They will find that one uncle in your family who's an alcoholic and shits his pants. Meet Trevor's Uncle Bobby. I didn't even know I had an Uncle Bobby. Well, now you do, and he shits his pants. And they'll always find a way to try and link it to you like it's your fault. They'll be like, Meghan Markle's uncle's son, Donnie, didn't pay his bills. She doesn't even know him. Doesn't matter. It shows that her family is unconventional. I'm not gonna lie, I was glad that it was the white side of Meghan families that was, I'm not gonna lie. We could not handle that as black people. That is the last thing we needed. Can you imagine if that was the black side of the family? Really? If Meghan's dad was on TV and he was like, oh no, I'm not coming to their wedding. No. Here we see Meghan's father posing for photo. You caught me again. Oh no, you have caught me. Black people would have never, because that's the hard thing about being a minority, whether you're black, whether you're whether you're Arabic, whatever it is. Like if you're a minority, if you have a certain skin tone, you know that every action you commit, like taints your whole, your family, it taints your everything. White people are individuals. That's white people. That's like the best thing in the world. And that's what white privilege means to me. You're an individual. Let's look at Dave. He is excellent. He's a mass murderer. As Trevor, if I killed half of you tonight, they'd be like, those mixed breeds. I take everyone down with me. So much stress. So I was glad. Like her mom was there. She was all, fly, looking beautiful as well. The wedding went off without a hitch. And my favorite thing was how the British media talked about how black the event was. And I understand it. Here's the thing. This is like one of those things where I understand, like they want to talk about it because you're not used to having like a black wedding, right? But so like everyone today, I had like CNN contacted me and they're like, Trevor, would you mind speaking about the wedding and really all the black performers? There was a black cellist and there was a black choir and a black pastor. How do you feel? Black? I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. How do you respond to that question? How do you feel about, I don't know how I feel, it's a wedding. I don't know, what do you want me to say? That's a normal wedding. I wasn't watching that wedding being like, whoa, there's black. So much blackness, another one. It's a wedding, what do you want me to say? It's people. And also I feel like people go too far. That's where you realize that there's not enough like diversity in your world, is if you think that made it a black wedding. Let me tell you something, a black cellist has canceled itself out. If you have a black person playing the cello,
it's safe to say that you've cancelled out the blackness at that event. That's the safest way to introduce blackness into your family. Daddy, I'm dating a black man. What? He plays the cello. All right, bring him in, bring him in. Even white people think a cello is white. When you walk in with a cello, white people also like, well, what the hell is that, man? It was like, it's the black wedding. It wasn't a black wedding, it was just a wedding. It was a beautiful, beautiful wedding. If it was a real black wedding, it wouldn't have ended. That's a real black wedding. It would never end. If it was a real black wedding, Prince's Nigerian uncle, he would have found like Harry's Nigerian uncle, he would have been in the carriage with them. I'm not paying for this carriage, I'm not riding in it, huh? You want to ride alone, Harry? You want to drive alone? Let me tell you something, huh? Let me tell you something. We are all getting in this carriage, eh? Every single one of us. And if we all get in the carriage, there's space for everybody. Don't be like that, Harry, huh? This is your family's day. This is not just your day, huh? When you were a little boy, who was there for you, huh? Who was there? That I was here, eh? I was there. Uncle Adebayo was there for you, Harry. Don't be like that, huh? Don't be like that. Huh? Where do you think you got your boss spot from, huh? Where do you think you got that from? That's a black wedding. This was just a wedding that included black people. That's all it was. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful to see all the celebrities showing up, all the famous people. They sang God Sing the... I never noticed that when they sing God Save the Queen doesn't sing. Which I understand. I mean, I feel like that would be a little bit weird. Like, she knows. Like, which is... Like, that's what I like about the Queen. I'm not gonna front. Like, she has a gangster vibe about her. Like, she's gotten to that point where she's like, yeah, I'm the Queen, I'm over it, let's keep it moving. She doesn't act like someone who's the Queen anymore. She's just like, I'm over it, I'm the Queen. And so everyone's standing like, God save our treasure spirit, and she's like, yeah, I know, save me, I know. I'm not gonna sing it for myself. Can't be like, save me, oh, save me. She's like, I don't need you assholes to save me. I drive myself. It was such a beautiful day, every single piece of it. It was wonderful seeing the people in the streets. Everyone had a smile on their face. You know, everyone was happy because like Harry's popular. He's popular in Southern Africa. He's popular in the UK. He's got that cool vibe about him. You know, Meghan Markle as well. He inspired people. The only weird thing in the wedding for me was they had a black pastor, right, African pastor, and this was like, it was weird in a good way. He started giving a sermon, and he started talking about Martin Luther King, and then he started talking about slavery. And I could see in that moment, there were people in the audience who were like, God save the Queen, God save the Queen. Somebody stop this man, God save the Queen.
That's why Jacob has been different, because a lot of people panic in South Africa. They panic, you know, when it comes to our politicians because of this, you know, they just don't understand them. Especially around election time, that's when you see the most panic in South Africa. It's always been the case. From our first democratic elections in 1994, remember that? Nelson Mandela was about to become president. Most of the country was overjoyed. A few people were worried. You heard them whispering, I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia, Mary. I'm going. It's been fun, but it's time to go, hey? Because you know now they're going to take over. It's time to go. I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia. Then Nelson Mandela became president, and they all stayed. He's a wonderful man, wonderful man. Oh, he's such a wonderful... If it wasn't for him, I would have left, hey? Wonderful man. Oh, he's amazing, yeah. He's really great. I love him. He's amazing. You thought they were over it, but next elections, people panicked again. Thabo Mbeki, about to become president, people lost it. I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia, Mary. I'm going. This time I'm going. You know that now that Mandela's gone, they're going to eat us, hey? It's only a matter of time. I'm leaving. I'm going to Australia. But once again, Thabo became president, and they all stayed. He left. No, shame. No, shame. Then we had Kgalema Motlanthe. Wasn't that crazy? Kgalema Motlanthe. He's like our interim president. Didn't want to touch anything. He was that guy, eh? No one knew what to get of him. It was just like crazy. People lost their minds even worse. I can't believe it. I didn't even vote.
what the hell? 1 minute I go to bed and Thabo Mbeki's our president. And the next thing you know, I wake up and we've got Khalima Mnyanji. I can't believe it. I'm going to Australia. I'm going.
But then once again, thankfully, they stayed. And then it got interesting. Because then it was the turn of Jacob Zuma. Ooh. The original boogeyman. People panicked again, although it was different. For the first time in South African history, you heard black people going, "Eish, how much is that ticket to Australia again?" Jacob knew he had to go big or go home. He knew there was only one way from where he was, and that was down. Jacob was like, "They will remember me one way or another." Utata might be the father of the nation, but I will be the father of a nation. I wanted Jacob to be a madman. I wanted him to be totally crazy, you know? I wanted him to not give a damn, walk into Parliament 4 hours late, his top undone, belly hanging out, walk in like nothing's wrong in the world. Everyone's been waiting for him running in, singing. Helen Zilla in the corner. "Jacob, you late, Jacob. Jacob, we've been waiting for you for 4 hours. You can't come." "Hey, shut up, Wena. Shut up. Late for who? Late for who? It's my time now. Shut up, Wena." Jacob Zuma, unlike the rest of us, doesn't conform. He doesn't conform to the norms, you know? Doesn't conform to the laws of grammar and punctuation as we mere mortals. No. No. Not our president. Comma, for who? For you, maybe, not me. Comes out there, confidence, cadence, wherever he pleases, reading out.
We have and always will be proud members of the ANC. And as such, we are proud supporters of the development of rural areas. And as such, it is of utmost importance to note that 2011 is the year for us all to party. Yes, Pete. And so forth. Let it not be a blame game. Let us understand that I, Jacob Zuma, am not a country on my own.
Zuma comes out and he goes, hey, I'm not perfect. I'm human. I make mistakes, just like you. Now and again, I will make a mistake. And another one. No. But hey, who's perfect? I look at Jacob Zuma and he strikes me as the kind of person who's on Facebook, you know? He's just got that vibe to him. No, you can see Facebook people. Some people look like Facebook people, some people don't. He strikes me as a Facebook person. He strikes me as that kind of guy, you know? In the presidential office in the morning, he's sitting there, getting everything ready. And then Charles gets into it.
www.facebook.com. And hello? No, I'm very busy now, very busy. Yeah, I'm writing a speech. Yeah. About the world. Yeah, okay, bye-bye. Log in. Username Jacob Zuma. Zuma. Julius! Julius! Yeah? Where's you? I'm here. This guy is stupid, man. You Zuma. Log in. Status update. Jacob is feeling frisky. Send all the single ladies. Now put their hands up. Shmam, shmam, shmaf. Lick it, club. No mention, an intention. Friend request. Accept. Oh, hello. Accept. Kim Jong. I accept. Gaddafi. Accept. Hey, accept. Hey, Helen Zille, ignore. Never. Wants to see my photos, yeah. Coming here with. What's happening here? Julius, invitation. No, man, Julius, I don't want to be a vampire, man. Decline. This guy. What? Obvious, Team Jacob. Stupid question. Coming here with those things. Okay. Mbeki is online now. Okay. Check the status. Mbeki is an African. Comment. Mbeki is unemployed. Send. Like. Poke. Super poke. That guy, man, what's happening here? Barak, still no response. This guy is not serious. He doesn't send Barak friend request all the time. Doesn't even message. Dear Barak, it's me, Jacob. Why don't you want to be my friend? Huh?
He looks like he could type that, eh?
H-U-H, huh?
For some reason, I feel like this is a great portrayal of Jacob. I feel like this seems like how he'd type on a keyboard. I've never seen him, but I don't know. I feel like, he seems like this kind of guy. But then it seems like a finger typer. Because I don't know, with standard 2, I don't think he's... No, I didn't mean it bad. Whoa, who was like, whoa? I'm just saying, because by saying whoa, you saying, Trevor, I disagree with you. I think it's pretty reasonable to assume that Jacob Zuma types like this. He's a 70 word per minute kind of guy. Is that, is like, that's what you use. Although, mind you, what you're also saying is the guy who speaks like those who 1, 2, that guy, what you're saying is all of a sudden when he gets on a keyboard, then like he goes from those wig, and then when he's on a keyboard, all of a sudden magically he's like, hey gang, how you guys doing? OMG, being president is like super hard. Why is Helen Ziller always on my case? Like WTF, loser. And Greta said the funniest thing the other day, and I was like, LMFAO. He's like super hilarious. Anyway, gotta get back to my work. Okay, smiley. No, he's that guy. He's we got the cutest president in the world, and you guys don't respect him. You don't appreciate him. He got that cute face with that grin, just like, Looks like he could have been like one of those kids in the Jet magazine, just like. He's super cute, man. How could you hate on Jacob Zuma? He looks like a little Zulu Ninja Turtle, man. He's so, he does,
Could see him in the crew. Leonardo, Raphael, Michelangelo, Jacob, Kawapanga. Oh, I miss Jacob so much. And you people were torturing while I was away. You were torturing him. How could you do that? Painting horrible pictures of Jacob Zuma. You guys are disgusting. The man, Jacob, on the mountain with the wind blowing through where he'd have hair. Just him, Jay-Z, and Mini-Me. Although it wasn't that mini though, you have to admit. No, it was a pretty solid picture. Well, not solid, but you know what I'm just saying, if it was me, I wouldn't have been offended by that, eh? I would have been there at the gallery every day, just like posing and waiting for people. They'd be like, yeah, hello ladies, hello. Hello nice, hello. Take a picture there, take a picture. They must know. So strong and so confident. People were like, this picture, it's racist. This picture, disrespectful. It wasn't even that disrespectful. I know you might not like it, and that's your personal opinion. But it wasn't that. Even the name of the picture was strong and powerful, you know? Jacob Zuma, the spear. The symbol of the Zulu nation for hundreds of years. Made famous by King Shaka himself. Conquering army after army with the spear. Umkhonto wesizwe. The spear of the nation. The spear. It's not like that guy called it the pocket knife. No, the spear, big and manly. That's why our president didn't complain. Jacob Zuma did not complain once because he understands art. He's cultured. You know, because the guys around him complaining about it on his behalf. I hate it when people do that. He wasn't even offended. They ran to him like little kids tattletaling. Jacob! Jacob! Yes. What happened now? Jacob, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Did you see what they did? Did you see they painted you? They painted you. It's like, there's no paint on me. I'm fine. No, sorry, my bad. They painted a picture of you. They painted, just show him the picture. Just show him the picture. And they came running with the picture and they showed it to him. But Jacob Zuma, he's a chilled out guy. He doesn't have time for these things. He probably didn't even see anything. He was just like, I don't see anything wrong with this. Oh. The giggling Casanova has no time for these trivial pursuits. I wouldn't be shocked if Jacob's having the time of his life right now in the presidential bedroom. Starting himself a new romantic game to play with the ladies. And you know he's romantic. I mean, that many kids, that many wives, he knows what it's about. You know? He's there, covered himself in body paint. Playing Barry White in the background. Gets to the bedroom door looking all sexy. Looking in the door at his wife. Number 2. Are you ready for the spear? She's there like, ooh, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And he's like, ready or not, here I come.
Jacob Zuma was in the balcony waving at everybody, you know, because elections are coming up, so you're going to see him everywhere now. Just there waving. Yeah, you're going to see him in the streets waving. You're going to see him at the rallies dancing. Yeah, he's going to be out shaking hands, kissing babies, mostly his babies, but still, vote for me. Because he knows he has to connect with the people. The ANC is having a tough time right now. This is one of the worst times in ANC history. Highest levels of corruption, lowest levels of service delivery. The ANC is just a shadow of its former self. Yeah. People in the ANC are disgusted by the ANC. They stand there like, ANC. Man. No, man, enough, man, no. Come on, ANC. They say this while looking in the mirror. Come on, ANC. Can do better, man. Come on, man. It's gotten bad. It's so bad, even Kgalema Motlanthe doesn't go anywhere with Jacob. Have you noticed this? Vice president, but you never see them together. Because Kgalema's like, I don't want that guy. Always tells Jacob's like, let's go, Kgalema. He's like, I'll meet you in front, go. No, ngizokuthola phambili. Hamba wena. Ngizokuthola phambili. It's gotten bad. Who do you vote for? Mampele Rampele. It's a fun name. Won't make me vote for you, though. Yes. Dr. Mampele. Used to date Steve Biko, so she knows about the struggle. She's intelligent, an elderly black woman. And she came out. She denounced the ANC. She said, the ANC is not what it used to be in this country. As black people, we need to stand up and realize that change is needed. Vote for Ahang, wait, and vote for change. And we're like, yeah, you go, girl. Well, then she made a big mistake. She challenged Jacob Zuma directly, head to head. But she used money as her platform. Big mistake. Never bring money up around Jacob, ever. No, because I don't know if you've noticed, our president never admits to money. There's always money around him, but it's never his. Always. Oh, it's the Sheikh's money, it's the Gupta's money. It's never his money. He's always there like, no, it's not mine, it's not mine. It's not mine, it's not mine. I don't know, it's not mine, it's not mine. Yeah. Building a house for 250 million rand. Jacob, where the hell is that money coming from? I have a bond for 800,000 with FNB. I got 800,000, 250 million. That's not my problem. My calculator said it's fine. Mampele tried to challenge him. She came out one day. She said, Jacob Zuma has not declared his income as our president. He does not tell Parliament how much money he has. We want to know how much he has and how much he gets from other people. I will lead by example. I, as Mampele Rampele, have 55 million rand. Jacob, how much do you have? People were like, yeah, how much do you... Whoa. Come again? 55 million. Where did you get that money? It's like, I'm on the board of many companies. I work very hard. Yeah, even me, I work hard. But 55 million. How much overtime is that one? 55. We had up 55 million. It's like, no, I worked for it. But we want to know, where does Jacob get his money? Hey, don't worry about that guy, lady. Don't worry. We know where he got it. He stole it. But you, we had up 55 million. I don't know who to vote for anymore. Because you can't make jokes about Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe. If you do this, then you get arrested and sent to prison for mocking the president, right? And so I know I would go there and I wouldn't be able to resist. Like, I'd just be like, hey, my style. And then I'm in jail. Which normally wouldn't be such a bad thing, because what would happen in an international incident like that is normally your president would just come there and then he would ask for you to be released and taken back to your country. That's all. But now, I don't know if that guy would come and fetch me. I can see him sending Mugabe the email now. It's fine, Bob. Keep him. Jacob Zuma hasn't smiled in months. He was our laughing president. You guys remember that? Huh? He was that guy. I haven't seen him laugh. For months, he's been there in Parliament in a corner. And the funniest thing is, he introduced us to Julius Malema. That's the craziest thing about this whole situation. It's a thin line between love and hate. He introduced us to Julius Malema. That was his guy. He came with him, and we were the ones asking questions. We saw Julius in the beginning. It was almost like Jacob Zuma brought us a little puppy, a little ANC puppy. And it was like, hey guys, this is my puppy Julius. And we were like, oh, this is interesting. Hey, Jacob, your puppy took a shit on the carpet. And he was like, oh, that's not my problem. Good dog. We're like, hey, Jacob, your puppy's chewing our shoes. Like, that's not my problem. Good dog. Now the puppy's grown up, biting the owner. Zuma's legs are there. He's there like, hey, pay back the money. Footsack, guys, help me. And we there like, that's not our problem. Good job. Have you guys seen our president? Huh? Have you seen him lately? Oh, man. He's back. He's back and better than ever before, you know? The last few months have been so taxing on him. People fighting with him in Parliament, shouting things at him. He's been stressed, sitting in a corner, quiet, all to himself. And then he found out that he would be paying nothing, absolutely nothing for the upgrades at Nkandla. And he walked into Parliament, a new man. Had a bounce in his step. He had his swag back. Jacob 2.0. I mean, he's still doing the same things, making the same mistakes, but now he has a certain level of panache. I saw him mess up a speech the other day, stumbled on a word like he always does. This time, though, he didn't frown, he didn't get stressed. He just worked through it.
And here we can clearly see there are red marble. A marble red marble. A premeditated.
Just came back and he handled it. I love how he just stepped away and did the cutest little, I don't even know what he was doing there. He just does like a little, almost like he's just moving his brain to the other side of his head. Like he knows when it's in the wrong place, it doesn't, he just shook it up. And he came back in. Even the way he handled the scandal was powerful. We thought for sure that Nkandla would be his downfall, and yet Jacob Zuma took something so serious, he turned it into a joke and threw it back in our faces.
Where we are clearly living in a place where there is a poverty of politics, people asking questions, but they don't want answers, questions, more answers. We're investigating, they ask again, questions, more answers. Then in Parliament, we're here, point of order, yes, Nkandla. Thixo waseGeorge Koch.
Who's this guy? Huh? He's just shrugging it off, evading, maneuvering. Never mind the Nkandla joke. I love the fact that he rolled his eyes. That blew my mind. I've never seen Jacob Zuma do that. He looked over and he was like, oh. When did Jacob Zuma start rolling his eyes? That's not something he does. Jacob Zuma doesn't roll his eyes, guys. Yeah, in fact, presidents don't roll their eyes. It's not a very presidential thing to do in Parliament, to roll your eyes at the opposition. Even the most defiant rulers in the world don't roll their eyes. When the UN is telling the leader of North Korea to stop making nuclear weapons, you don't see Kim Jong-un going, oh, whatever. You don't roll your eyes. But Jacob Zuma did, and he did it in style. I want to know where he learned it, how he learned it. Has he been doing this for a while? Yeah, because rolling your eyes is part of an attitude. You don't just roll your eyes. If you roll your eyes, you got that sass, you bitchy, you know? Is he doing more than that? Now I see Jacob in a totally different light. Now I'm picturing him hanging out with the rest of the ANC comrades, chatting about these problems. President, they want to know where's the money, Mr. President. Where did the money go? And he's like, I'm in really, guys. Over and over, they keep asking me. I mean, literally, I'm dying now. Like, can't they get over it? Like that music guy, get a life already. Just because you hang with white chicks. I mean, please, whatever. Is that what he's doing? And if he is, where did he learn that? Where do you learn to roll your eyes at that age? That's what I want to know. It's not your friends. It's not your colleagues. It's probably your kids. Yeah, you learn bad habits at home. Jacob Zuma probably learned it from one of his children in the house. One of his daughters, maybe. She was going out for a night with her friends, caught her as she was leaving.
Hey, when Tombazan, where are you going dressed like that?
Dad, I told you, I'm going out with my friends. I'm going to a party.
First of all, you are already in a party. Secondly, no daughter of mine will dress like that. Go and change. Oh, Dad, what are you doing? You're killing me. Come on, why are you doing this? I can dress however I want. I'm old enough. Hey, you will do as I say. As long as you are living under my roofs, which I have paid for with other people's monies, you will obey me. Go and change. Oh, Dad, come on. Why are you doing this? Everyone else dresses like this. All the other kids do it. Are all the other kids my children? You never know. Yeah? Don't come in this house with that DA attitude. Go and change now. Whatever. What was that? What did you just do? I didn't do anything, Daddy. Don't lie to me. I saw it. You did something with your eyes. It looked like the Undertaker. But they came back. What was that? I just rolled my eyes, Dad. Girl, it made me feel so insignificant. What you did there made me feel like you did not acknowledge the seriousness of this situation. Can you teach me how to do that? Yeah, like, it's easy. Like, you just roll your eyes. If someone says something you don't like, then you're just like, whatever. Whatever. No, Dad, whoa, that's too much. That's too much. You just gotta loosen up, you know? Just be like, whatever. Whatever. I think I got it. No, you don't have it, Dad. You're rolling your head. You're supposed to roll your eyes. And my eyes are where? Exactly.
And he was off. Ready to roll, baby.
And he did. He rolled straight into Parliament, shut it down, turned Nkandla into a joke. You can't bring Nkandla up anymore. It's over now. You say Nkandla in Parliament, people laugh at you. Yeah, immediately. What about Nkandla? It's done. It's done. Just, I love it so much. You know what I love most about the Nkandla thing? A lot of people don't realize this. Jacob Zuma was making a joke out of Nkandla, yes. But what was more interesting to me is the fact that he was mocking Mmusi Maimane, the leader of the DA. A lot of people didn't pick this up. When he's doing the whole Nkandla, he's mocking Mmusi Maimane's Model C English accent. That's what he's doing. Jacob Zuma thinks that he speaks funny. That is priceless. Jacob Zuma sits in Parliament watching Mmusi Maimane speak, and we'd like to know about the allocation of funds, more especially regarding the homestead at Nkandla, and he's like, this guy talks so funny.
Nkandla, would you like some tea with your crumpets? Marshmallow.
Jacob Zuma is laughing. That's just beautiful. I don't know how much of it is true or not. What I do know is, if Jacob Zuma was allowing the Guptas to control our country and choose our ministers, then it wasn't my president being corrupt to me. It was the Guptas telling him what to do. It's like Julius said.
The Guptas were in his ear all along. They were inside his ear all along.
And you know the way Julius sounded, it sounded amazing. Because I get the phrase when they go, they were in his ear. But he said
they were inside his ear.
It sounded like the Guptas were actually inside Jacob Zuma's ear. Which actually would have made sense when you think about it. What if they were inside his ear the entire time? How do we know that every single time Jacob Zuma was speaking to us as a nation,
He was actually telling us what the Guptas were saying to him. Like he had one of those earpieces that they have on those hidden camera shows. You know? Like he was there in Parliament. Outside Parliament, there was a van with the Guptas sitting inside it. Hello, Jacob. 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 I've activated your earpiece. You're going to repeat everything that I tell you, okay? Jacob, Jacob. Can you hear me, Jacob? Can you hear me? Roger, Roger, Roger. No, it's Atul. This is Atul here, Jacob. I know who it is, guys. I've got it. I know who it is. Okay, let's just make sure levels are all correct, Jacob. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, what do you want to do? No, 1, 2 like 3. 1, 2 like 3. 1, 2 like 3. Oh, okay. I've got you guys, so I must just repeat everything that you say. Yes, you're going to repeat everything, Jacob. Okay, it's going to be very complicated. I'm trying to listen to you while also speaking. We understand, Jacob, but we've already made a plan, you and us. So repeat everything that I say, okay? Okay, I will repeat everything. And that's probably why things went wrong. Because I don't know if you've ever tried to listen to someone while talking to someone else. Your mind jams. Yeah, that's why Jacob Zuma could never deliver a speech. It's not that he couldn't read, he couldn't listen. He couldn't listen and speak at the same time. I used to watch him and be like, what's going on, Jacob? Kinkari, your YouTube is buffering. What's happening here? This is why data must fall. But it turns out, he was just listening the entire time. There he was in Parliament. The praise singer said his name as he came. Jacob President of South Africa, Jacob Zuma. Jacob Zuma came out to the podium. His earpiece was ready. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Proud South Africans, and Indians especially, We are doing well in this country. We are doing well in this country. And also, don't listen to the news. Don't listen to the newspaper. The newspapers, even though what they say is right sometimes. Also, there is no problem with the ANC. Also, there is no problems with the ANC. The membership is growing. We currently have 939,360,000. 939,000. No, 39 million. 39 million. 60 and 62. No, 39 million, 600, 390, no, I said 900 million, 62,000, no, Jacob, you're missing the point, 100 million, no, Jacob, come on, man, listen properly, listen properly. Listen properly. No, Jacob. Listen properly. 900 million. 900 million. Give me a pen there. Hey, Pelele. No, Jacob. 100 million. 39 million. 63,000. Oh. What are you doing? Jacob, no, man. That was just a tickle and a cough. Tickle as a church cough. Okay, this is going wrong, Jacob. Abort, Jacob. Abort. I bought. They were in his ear the entire time. I miss South Africa, man.
I miss it. I watch Parliament now again. I went straight into it, watching the vote of no confidence. I was so stressed. I don't know about you, but I was so stressed. I was like, please, 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 please don't let Zuma go. Please. Don't let Zuma go. My jokes, all of my jokes, please. Please. I did go to Zambia though. Fantastic place, Zambia. Went there, visited the place, had a good time. While I was there, I had a chaperone who really made my trip. His name was Ali Nani, a sweet guy. And his job was to get me accustomed to the Zambian culture, you know? And every day he would give me a new piece of information, some more interesting than others. Like one day he looks at me and he goes, Trevor, you know Zambia is a very, very conservative nation, huh? I said, oh, okay, Ali. He says, yeah. So please, stay away from profanity. I said, oh, okay, I can do that, you know? And I assumed he meant swearing, right? But I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure if he meant a person or swearing. I wasn't like, no, because in Zambia, people have names like profanity. So that's how I laughed when I met Screwdriver, eh? That's the same way I laughed. Yeah, because you see, in South Africa, we have African names you can translate, like happiness, blessing, hope, those kinds of names, right? But then in Zambia, people give their names, like their children, they give their children names of everyday English words, anything. So like table, chair, car, house. Yeah, you see like this, you just have to get used to it. It's very hard, but you have to keep a straight face. Which was difficult because I met a mechanic who had sons named Brake and Clutch. And that was not, especially when Brake was running around causing chaos. And his dad was there like, stop it, Brake, stop it, Brake, stop it, stop it, Brake. And I was like, hey, stop it, Brake. But you have to get used to it. It's a cultural thing, and so you have to respect it. And the second warning Ali gave me was even stranger. We're driving through Lusaka, the capital. And Ali looks over at me in the car and he goes, Trevor, you know here in Zambia, we are a very God-loving nation, eh? I said, oh, okay, Ali, that's a good thing to know. He says, yes. So while you are here, don't be gay. So what? He says, I know it can be tempting sometimes, but don't do it, huh? Don't be gay. Don't be gay? I've never been warned of this in my life. Don't be gay. Hey, bro, don't be gay. Don't be gay. Don't be gay. Crazy warning to get. But then I found out why Ali was warning me. Turns out in Zambia, being gay is illegal. If you are found to be gay, you will be arrested and sent to prison for more than 30 years. Yeah. Which is a bit of a weird punishment. When you think about it. I mean, I'm not saying gay guys would enjoy prison. I'm just saying if I was gay, that's not the worst thing you could do to me. You'd be like, you're going to jail. I'd be like, oh no. Don't be gay. I couldn't believe this. Gay is a crime in Zambia. Which got me thinking, if gay is a crime, that means the police have to monitor it. They actually have to police gay. Yeah. Which means in their police force, they have a gay division. It's a crime. It's a crime. So that means they've got a murder unit, they've got a robbery unit, they've got a white-collar crimes unit, and then they've got a gay unit. Huh? Yeah, they've got a little G unit in their police force that's responsible for all things gay. That must be the most fun police force to be in the world. You get to go undercover, dress up really nice, get in touch with your flamboyant side, just have a good time. I bet the sergeant's there every morning briefing his detectives. Good morning, detectives. Welcome, everybody. Today we will be launching a sting operation. We have just been informed of a fashion show that will be taking place. And as you know, the gays cannot resist the latest trends. Therefore, we will be in full attendance to apprehend each and every one of them. Let us make sure we are here. Detective Chipua, present. Detective Table, present. Detective Mungai, present. I think he's in too deep. How do you police gay? Do they stop you if you look suspiciously gay in the streets? I mean, gay doesn't have a look, but maybe you've just got a bounce about you. Maybe you just have like a bit of pizzazz. Maybe, Do the police pull up there and it's like, woo! You over there! What is the purpose of that flamboyant scarf? Put your hands up! turn around. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. You're going to jail. How do you police gay? Do they have roadblocks, like for drunk driving? Do they have gay roadblocks? We're just stopping people in their car. Good evening, officer. Good evening, sir. License, please. Thank you very much. Mr. Stylish, huh? Tell me, sir, have you been a gay this evening? What? Oh, no. I have not been a gay. No. In fact, I don't gay at all. I see. Not even one or two? No. No gays for me. No gays for me. Okay. Then tell me, sir, what is that I can smell on your breath? Is that balls? No, I don't even eat chutney. No. So you are not gay? No, not gay at all. Then, sir, can you please blow into this? Don't be gay. I was not gay while I was in Zambia, so I had a good time. Went around, saw the people. The highlights of my trip came when on my day off, I asked Ali for suggestions. Ali said to me, maybe you should drive around Lusaka, meet some of the people, just have a good time. I said, Ali, I want to do something special. He said, okay, well, in that case, maybe you can go to the mall. And if you are lucky, maybe you can ride the escalators, huh? So what? Yeah, I'm not promising anything. But if you are early, maybe you can go once or twice. So escalators, I know, mind-blowing, huh? I thought he was messing with me. Until I found out people in Zambia go to the mall just to ride the escalators. Seems ridiculous till you understand the backstory. When we were in Zambia, there were only 5 public escalators. 5 in the whole country. The first escalator was built in August. Yeah. Not August 19. No. You guys remember August? August? You guys remember that? They built their first escalators ever. Yeah. And so now it's all the rage. People go to the mall just to ride escalators. Yeah. But now, I don't want you to picture like some dusty village. That's not what Zambia is. It's a beautiful place. They're developing just as we are. They've got roads, they've got airports, they've got beautiful hotels, stunning shopping malls. They've got everything we've got, even faster internet. They just never had escalators. And now they started building them. And because of that, people go there and they just spend a day riding escalators. Dads will go home and fetch their kids. Children, we are going to the mall. To do what, daddy? To do shopping. And to ride the escalators. Yay! We couldn't believe this, so we went to the mall, right? We get to the mall is empty. Escalators are packed. People are standing in lines, going around, doubling back on themselves. There's old people, young people, even couples. There were couples. Guys that actually picked up women by saying, I'm going to take you to the escalator, girl. Ooh, you're so fancy, eh? Escalators. Some people didn't even know how to ride the escalators. Kids were easy. They just jumped on. Old people would panic. There was one guy who got on the escalator and it was going up. And I guess to compensate for something in his mind, as it went up, he started leaning. He fell down. He was hurt so badly. Oh, it was fantastic to watch. We spent like 3 hours doing this, just watching people riding escalators. And you know what? Our patience paid off. Because in hour 3, the most fantastic thing happened. A school brought a class of children to the mall. And their excursion was just to ride the escalators. It was magic. 30 kids, about 5 years old, cutest things, wearing their little black and white uniforms. And they're standing there together holding hands, and they were so excited, so they're shining, not from excitement, that Vaseline. And there's 2 teachers with the children, and they grab their hands on either end, and in a long train, they start to march through the mall. And as they do, they start singing at the top of their lungs like little angels. Escalator, escalator, escalator. Oh, escalator, escalator. And it was the sweetest thing ever. People are waving at them, smiling. And these kids see the escalators and they lost their minds. These kids went crazy. They not holding hands. They start screaming and running around. It looked like a zombie movie or something. This is like they're jumping, but then you see the smiles on their faces. It looks like the end of Sarafina. You're like, what the hell's going on here? These kids are screaming and having the time. They're jumping around, doing cartwheels. The teacher can't control them. She's panicking like, yeah, get back, get back. 2 by 2, 2 by 2. 2 by 2 was one of the kids. I didn't know. She was like, 2 by 2, next to me, single file. Other kids are still jumping. She can't control them. There was one fat kid. He couldn't jump, so he just shook himself. Escalator. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like I had gone in a time machine to a time when escalators were new, brand new and popular. So popular that people were taking pictures of the escalators using their iPhones. Chipiwa, technology, eh? Who even thinks of these things, eh? Can you imagine? Hey, we are in the future now, man. Mechanical moving stairs, huh? What are we going to see next? I don't even know. I wonder how it works, eh? Let me just check there. Siri, how does an escalator work? I don't know, eh? Hey guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you can win cool prizes. And by prizes, I mean surprise. There's no prizes. It's a free YouTube video, you greedy. Just click the video, man. Why you want free things on free things?